Hey guys, I want to talk to you today a little bit about differentiating levels in teaching. Now, what I mean by that is I personally teach family consumer science, which is an elective class, so I get all levels across the board in my classes. Mental issues, to children with intellectual issues, to IEPs, to 504s, to special education, to I've got 2 kids that have Down syndrome in class. I have kids that made a 36, 35 on the ACT in class, the same class, sitting beside each other. I come from a small school, so at my school it's easier to deal with across the board. But as far as big schools, I can't really speak to that. But my school, what I do is I have to individualize teach on a mass board, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is I make my subject fun, because let's just get into it. If you're teaching and it's not fun for you or the kids, you're wasting people's time. I know that some people will say, like, how do you make math fun, or how do you make English fun, or how do you make history fun, stuff like that. You can find a way to make things fun. And if you're having issues, research. Look it up. See what you can do. As far as my subject, I love my subject. I think my subject's the funnest subject out there, and I love it. Me personally, I couldn't be what I call core classroom teacher, just because I've got so much freedom in my subject. So for me, like, I do project-based learning a lot. I love project-based learning. And doing project-based learning, you can do this on any subject, actually. It's project-based learning. And I do it in a wide spectrum, to where I can get as detailed as I want for certain kids, and I can get as loose on the instructions for other kids. Some kids can only do so much on their projects. Some kids have very limited computer experience. So if you're doing like a project where they research where they want to go, you may team them with other kids, or you may give them just a smaller parameter, or say look up pictures where other people's may be looking up. Do your price checks and do this and do that in comparison. But give each child the opportunity to do it all, because you want every kid to get the opportunity to do everything they can do in your class. So give them opportunity to do it, but don't require it. Now, I have some kids that I will tell you that pull the wool over some people's eyes and don't want to do very much, but then I'll hear their teachers saying, oh, they won't do anything for me. And so then I'll get them in class, and at first maybe they are a hard shell to crack. And so that's a lot of that has to do with your rapport with kids. So you have to have good rapport with kids. Don't be a grumpy grout. I'm not saying just be fun teacher all the time, woo, but you has to be a fine line to where the kids want to come to see you. They want to learn what you have to say. So just personalize your topics, personalize your lessons. Let the kids have choices in the lessons. Let the kids, all different levels, know that you care about them, that you're glad they're there. Because some kids, you're the only smiling face they see all day. They go home and they don't have that. So we have to be, as teachers, we have to be opening our arms and loving these kids and letting them know how much that we want them at school and we want them to learn things. Now, some kids are hard to love, and I will tell you that. And some kids you're just not going to get along with at all. But do your best to try to. We all need somebody to accept us, and across the level of all kids. So I have 150 kids a day. So it's hard for me to get super personal with every one of them, but I want them to know about me and know that, oh, we're going to her class today. Woo, we're going to have a good time. We're going to learn about anything. Like, we're going to learn about sewing today. We're going to learn how to sew on a button. Or we're going to learn how to make friends. Or we're going to learn how to fill out our taxes. That is a huge array of things that I teach in class. And I know there's a hard way to make taxes fun somehow, but we're going to find it. and I'm going to do it. Because I don't want my kids to hate taxes already when they're 16 years old and they don't know anything about taxes. So how can I make it easy on them? Is there somebody I can bring in from the outside to show them something, to tell them something? How can I make it fun? Is there a field trip we can go on? Is there a digital field trip? Is there something on YouTube I can find that the kids would like to do? You just have to figure out how to make it across the board to where your kids that can barely write and the kids that make a 36 in the ACT can all be engaged in your class.